Welcome back, my friends. My name is Frank. In this video, I'm not going to talk about cartoons, movies, or the books that I created. I'm going to talk about me. Seriously, this video is an in-depth look on the videos that I create all over the internet. But before I get to that, I do want to let you know that the Olivia Mighty Kraken third book, which is Olivia the Mighty Kraken, I have sent that book to the editor. Once that person gives me back the book, then I can print off the book and send it out to all the people who helped me with the Kickstarter. So again, as I said before, thank you very much for helping me with the Kickstarter for Olivia the Mighty Kraken. The books will be on the way soon. As soon as I get it back from the editor, I can have them printed off and send them out. And speaking of books, let me talk about Tercona just for a moment. I am currently writing a script for Tercona comic number 8. As of right now, it's called Medea's Return, or The Return of Medea. Now, just in case you joined the Tercona fandom in 2019 when I published my first comic book, and you don't know who Medea is Tercona's mom. She was in the first book, Tercona Book 1, Our New Home, that I published way back in 2015. So yes, I am currently working on the next comic, and it has a lot to do with some of the books that I wrote a long time ago. Alright, that being said, let me talk a little bit more about the future of Tercona. Ever since the very beginning, back in 2015, I had a very good idea how I wanted to end this entire series of books and comics and everything else. Now, that ending has sort of changed a little bit, but the problem is, I have all these ideas in my head, and I can't get them on paper fast enough. On one end of the spectrum, I would love to sell this original property to Disney, Netflix, Amazon Prime, whatever, and sort of have them take the reins and go on from here. I mean, seriously, I've been making these books since 2015, so for 9 years, you have 3 books, you have a whole bunch of comics, I have a website dedicated to all the other characters and stuff. The world is built, I just have to sell it to the right network. Which brings me to my other problem. It's very hard to sell to a network when you're living in a small town in Ohio. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining at all. I like where I live. I love my job as a security guard. Matter of fact, I'm the supervisor of security guards where I work, and I love my job because sometimes there's downtime, and I get to write during the downtime. My job is a 10-minute drive from my house. Yes, it doesn't pay the greatest, but all the other perks make up for what it doesn't pay. But again, I live in a small town in Ohio, have a great job, but how on earth can I sell Tercona to a network if I'm in this area? It reminds me of this quote from Boy Meets World.
You see that flower? That flower was in a small pot in my living room, but it outgrew its surroundings, so I transplanted it here in the garden.
Seems like it's doing okay.
Oh, yes, it's flourishing. Now, when I pulled the flower out of the small pot in my living room, it resisted a little, you know. It tried to hang on by its roots. I had to force it out.
Because you thought it would do better out here. In the world, right?
No, because I thought if I left it there, it would stop growing.
You see, how can a plant grow? How can I grow if I'm always in the same place? On the other hand, like I said, I love my job and I love my life where I'm at. I get time to write, so I'm reminded of another quote from another movie.
You're not where you want to be. You feel like you're supposed to be somewhere else.
Huh.
You said it. Well, say you could snap your fingers and be wherever you wanted to be. I bet you'd still feel this way, not in the right place. The point is, you can't get so hung up on where you'd rather be that you forget how to make the most of where you are.
What are you telling me?
Good
Take
point.
a break from worrying about what you can't control. Live a little.
You see, sometimes motivation can be very confusing. Let alone the fact a few weeks ago I came up with another great idea about a female elf. I've never written an elven story before, but I had these great ideas in my head and I wanted to put this on paper or at least write it down before I continued with Tercona comic number 8. You see, and that's my big problem. I have all these great ideas floating around in my head and I can't write them fast enough. I'm not saying I'm sick of Tercona. I love Tercona and I would love to see her turn into a cartoon. I would love to see this animated. I would love to sell it to a network. But honestly, it's very hard to focus on one particular thing at a time when I have so many different ideas floating around in my head. I would honestly love a chance to pitch any of my ideas to somebody in Hollywood and see what happens. Anyway, if you're still with me after hearing me ramble, thank you for sticking around, and thank you for your patience on Tercona. Thank you for being a fan of my work all these years. For those of you who like my other books and not Tercona, like The Taming of April or the Olivia Wrestling books, again, thank you for liking my creativity. I really appreciate it. And another thing, as you know from watching this video, I love to make videos. I've been doing cartoon reviews on YouTube for probably 10 years. Some of them have a lot of views, some of them don't. In 2021, I started growing my followers on TikTok, so I make videos for that platform as well. Again, I love making videos, but even though I love telling you how I feel about certain cartoons and certain movies, none of that is helping me sell the product that I want to sell, which is my comics and my books. So even though at the moment I'm still going to make videos, I'm sort of at a crossroads. How can I market my books better than what I'm doing right now? I just have to figure out where to go from here. Because Einstein once said, the definition of insanity is to continue doing the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. So, now what? Listen, I want to record some more videos for later this week, but next week, 4th of July week, I'm going to take that week off, and then be back on a regular schedule after the 4th of July week. Again, thanks for listening to me ramble, thanks a lot for watching my video, and as always, thank you for your support.